Jeffrey Epstein is dead. That's what they told us. August 10th, 2019. A jail cell, malfunctioning cameras, guards asleep, a body, case closed. But here's the thing about dead men. They leave things behind. 3 million pages, 2,000 videos, 180,000 images, flight logs, email chains, bank statements, photographs, and names, thousands of names. The US government just released the largest cache of Epstein-related files in history. Not summaries, not redacted reports. The actual evidence. And it tells a story far darker, far wider, and far more disturbing than the public has ever been told. This is not a theory. This is the file dump. This is what they tried to keep hidden, and this is what it proves. Let's start with the language. Because if you read these documents closely, you'll notice something strange. Words that don't belong. Pizza, ice cream, cheese, pasta, hot dog, walnut, map, sauce. These words appear in emails, in schedules, in communications between Epstein, his associates, and the powerful men who visited him. The alleged code, documented in FBI intelligence bulletins and corroborated by victim testimony, reads like this. Pizza, a young girl. Cheese, a little girl. Hot dog, a young boy. Pasta, a little boy. Ice cream, a male prostitute. Walnut, a person of color. Map, a seaman. And sauce, a orgy. Now look at the emails. Look at who's using these words. Look at the context. And ask yourself, what were they really talking about? The files contain names. Not just names in a black book. Names in emails arranging meetings. Names on flight manifest to the island. Names in photographs inside Epstein's homes. Let's go through them, because the public deserves to know who these people are and what the evidence actually shows. First is Prince Andrew. The photographs are in the files. 3 images. Prince Andrew on all fours over a woman lying on the floor, his hand on her stomach, staring at the camera. The emails are in the files. Andrew to Epstein. We could have dinner at Buckingham Palace and lots of privacy. Epstein replies, please. Andrew to Epstein, about a woman being arranged for him. Great. Any other information you might know about her that might be useful to know? Like, what have you told her about me? And have you given her my email as well? Epstein's reply, she's 26, Russian, clever, beautiful, trustworthy. And yes, she has your email. The financial records are in the files. Epstein covering debts for Sarah Ferguson. Emails showing Ferguson with her daughters Beatrice and Eugenie visiting Epstein in Miami days after his release from jail. Ferguson to Epstein. It'll be myself, Beatrice, and Eugenie. Second on the list is Peter Mandelson. The bank statements are in the files. $75,000 in payments from Epstein to accounts connected to Lord Mandelson, including to his partner. The emails are in the files. Mandelson, while serving as Britain's Secretary of State for Business in 2009, sending market-sensitive government information directly to Jeffrey Epstein. The consequence is now public record. Mandelson has resigned from the House of Lords. He is under criminal investigation for misconduct in public office. He faces potential jail time. This is not a friendship. This is a national security breach. Third we have is Elon Musk, who wasn't in the Epstein Island, but the messages suggest that he was dying to be there. The emails are in the files. November 2012. Musk to Epstein. What day or night will be the wildest party on your island? On December 2012. I really want to hit the party scene in St. Bart's or elsewhere and let loose. A peaceful island experience is the opposite of what I'm wanting. Musk's response when the files dropped. No one pushed harder than me to have the Epstein files released. He says he never went to the island. The emails show the invitations were extended and discussed. Next we have Bill Gates. The draft emails are in the files. Written by Epstein to himself, never sent, but preserved. They contain explosive, unverified allegations about Gates, including references to sex with Russian girls and secretly providing medication to his then-wife. Melinda French Gates, in an interview, said, "For me, it's personally hard whenever those details come up. It brings back memories of some very, very painful times in my marriage." Gates' spokesperson. These claims are absolutely absurd and completely false. But the question remains, why was Epstein drafting these emails at all? What did he know? What was he documenting? And we can't deny the fact that he had exchanges messages with Jeffrey, in which he was trying to plan the next pandemic. Some say that even the COVID-19 was caused by these Satan worshippers as well. And then we have the President of the United States, Donald Trump. The files contain a list compiled by the FBI of tips called in about Trump. Trump has stated he cut ties with Epstein years ago. Nevertheless, he is the person that appears on the Epstein list the most, doing all sorts of horrifying things that he is bound to do as his master pleases. So the association did exist, and then we have Deepak Chopra. The emails are in the files. February 2017, Chopra to Epstein. Come to Israel with us. Relax and have fun with interesting people. If you want, use a fake name. Bring your girls. It will be fun to have you. Love. March 2017. Chopra to Epstein, discussing God and cells in the universe. Then, cute girls are aware when they make noise. Later, God is a construct. Cute girls are real. Then comes Noam Chomsky. The emails are in the files. February 2019. Epstein to Chomsky. Should I defend myself or try to ignore? The reply, attributed to Chomsky, laments the horrible way Epstein was treated and the hysteria that has developed about abuse of women. It advises Epstein to ignore it. The list continues: Ehud Barak, Sergey Brin, Miroslav Lajchak, Howard Lutnick, Larry Summers, Steve Tisch, Brett Ratner. Each name comes with context. Each context raises questions, and the questions so far remain unanswered. August 10th, 2019. The Metropolitan Correctional Center, New York City. Jeffrey Epstein is found dead in his cell. The official cause, suicide by hanging. But here's what the official reports also document. The cameras outside his cell malfunctioned that night. The guards assigned to monitor him were asleep. He had been taken off suicide watch days earlier, despite previous attempts. The man who could name every name, who could testify against every powerful figure in his orbit, died in a system failure so complete it strains credulity. And then the aftermath. The Tel Aviv sighting now, in 2026. A photograph surfaces online. A man in sunglasses on a street in Tel Aviv, Israel, almost identical. The resemblance to Epstein is uncanny. The image goes viral. But here's what the files show. Epstein had extensive connections in Israel. Ehud Barak. Other powerful figures. A country with no extradition treaty with the United States. The image may be a lookalike, but the question it raises is legitimate. If a man with Epstein's resources wanted to disappear, could he? And would we ever know? And then, the Fortnite account. Same period. Gamers notice activity on a Fortnite account under a name clearly referencing Jeffrey Epstein. The account, previously dormant, shows as online. The internet erupts. Is it a signal? A taunt? Proof of life? Investigative journalists trace it. A new user purchased an old account. A troll, capitalizing on the moment. But the pattern is the point. The public no longer trusts the official story. Every anomaly becomes evidence because the system has proven itself untrustworthy. The botched release. And then, the files themselves. When the government finally released them, victim advocates were horrified. The redactions, the black bars meant to protect survivors' names, were so poorly executed that anyone with basic computer skills could copy and paste the hidden text underneath. If the government can't handle redactions, what else did they mishandle? In all of this, the names, the theories, the speculation, we must not lose sight of the center. The victims are in these files. Their journals are in these files. One victim took a pre-printed diary titled Flights of Fancy and altered it. It now reads, Flights and Yachts of Horror. The girl who was told she was pizza. The girl who was told to give a massage and ended up sexually assaulted. The girl who was loaned out to powerful men. So here's what the Epstein files actually prove. They prove a trafficking ring operated for decades with impunity. They prove it serviced an elite clientele that included princes, politicians, billionaires, and celebrities. They prove the operation had a coded language. Pizza, ice cream, cheese. That reduced children to commodities. They prove the relationships didn't end after Epstein's first conviction. They continued. The emails prove it. The flight logs prove it. The photographs prove it. They prove the system failed to stop him, and failed to prosecute him fully, failed to keep him alive, failed to protect the victims' names when the files were finally released, and they prove that the public's trust in that system is now shattered. That's why a blurry photo from Tel Aviv goes viral. That's why a Fortnite account becomes evidence. Because when the official story is full of holes, people will fill those holes with whatever they can find. Jeffrey Epstein may be dead, but the questions he left behind are very much alive. The names in these files are alive, the victims are alive, and the fight for accountability is alive. The files are out now. 3 million pages. Read them. Ask your own questions. Demand your own answers. Because the only way this story ends is when the truth is finally, fully, and finally told.